End Times Prophecy News Update. This is Carrie Geren Scoggins coming to you this summer with a story concerning what our public schools intend to teach this fall.
The Democrat liberal agenda has a plan for the public school system. They intend to push the agenda now passed in New York of teaching that there are supposedly 31 genders, and a teaching called fluidity, meaning that there is no 100% male or female. It's whatever the individual feels they are when they get up that morning. This teaching obviously is not backed up by the American Medical Association, of which stated in the DOMA hearings that there was never a gay gene found, nor has there ever been genes found that create a transgender, nor a clump of genes that create a homosexual, nor were there found epigenetic markers cutting on a gay gene. As this was stated in the DOMA hearings before the federal Supreme Court, in front of real federal justices. Not just statements made by the American Medical Association caving to political pressure, but that stated in a professional arena, such as the federal Supreme Court hearings. The school system teaching liberal propaganda, that not backed up by science, was started back during the time when the schools were allowed to teach evolution as fact rather than theory, opening Pandora's box for bringing in political propaganda, that which Thomas Jefferson stated that our public schools would turn into a political propaganda outlet if they were allowed to be ran by the government. Noting now that the teachers' unions are even on the Democratic Party platform membership list, and they're teaching only Democratic Party platform propaganda. We know this because they refuse to allow an opposing viewpoint. That's always a red flag. The state has made it clear that they wish to change the minds and opinions of our students, which is state endorsement of a political or religious belief. In this case, that of the gay agenda pushed by the Democratic Party. The state cannot condemn nor condone any religious tenet, which would violate state endorsement of religion, the wall of separation of church and state. In this case, the state, being the school system, cannot condemn a Christian student's belief in Romans chapter 1, stating that homosexuality is the end result of having known God, left him and went over into other religions, and then been given over to a reprobate mind, or the teaching of Deuteronomy 22:5, that a man shall not wear that which pertains to a woman, for such is an abomination unto God. Just as the state cannot endorse the religious doctrines that accept homosexuality and men wearing women's clothing, now called transgender. The state is overstepping their boundaries of law, bringing in political and religious beliefs that they endorse. The Christian student's right to oppose the viewpoint of the Democratic Party in the school system is upheld through many different federal laws, such as the Biblical Core Values Federal Supreme Court ruling, where the Federal Supreme Court cited our legal right to adhere to biblical core values, specifically that of Romans chapter 1, and scriptures that condemn homosexuality. Other federal laws upholding Christian civil rights, including that of our students in the public school system, such as the 1964 Civil Rights Act, giving Christian students protected class status under the law. Because Christians are a protected class under federal law, teachers nor the state is allowed to paint them as backward, uneducated, or simply wrong for their religious tenets, such as Romans chapter 1, that condemns homosexuality. it is also a discriminatory act for the state to attempt to paint Christians as haters or full of hate for their religious tenets, such as Romans chapter 1, Title 7 of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Censoring opposition to homosexuality is not a new idea. When we look back in history, we find that Nazi Germany passed laws akin to the EU and UN's hate speech law, censoring the opposition to homosexuality. The left referred to these laws as hate speech laws, such as the Obama-Pelosi hate speech law in the United States, which was overturned in the federal Supreme Court, deemed unconstitutional censorship. And the federal Supreme Court upheld our legal right to debate the issues, citing specifically our legal right to debate homosexuality, Islam, abortion, and any issue from a biblical viewpoint from an uncensored Bible. But remember, censorship on the homosexuality issue began in Nazi Germany with good speak laws. The laws used to arrest Christians and Jews, landing them in concentration camps due to mass arrests. If you didn't have your Bible burned at the Bible burnings carried out by the all-gay regiment called the Brown Shirts, then they were simply arrested for violating the good speak laws. Our public schools cannot bring in censorship of an opposing viewpoint. The Christian students need to stand up and begin to practice their right to oppose the propaganda pushing the gay agenda in the public schools. The federal Supreme Court upheld student-led groups, prayers, Bible studies, as well as the legal right to have political opposition to that, such as the Democratic Party's groups, the LGBT groups in the schools, Gay-Straight Alliance, opposition to such groups by having a Teen Tea Party or a Young Republicans Club, Christian Bible studies that teach the opposing view, such as that of Romans chapter 1 or Deuteronomy 22:5. Students as well as parents have the legal right to take on the Democratic Party agenda in the public schools.
Parents need to become more politically active in their schools. Attending school board meetings, speaking with teachers, contacting legislators, writing the media, and demanding Christian civil rights for their students in the school, as well as ending our schools becoming a political propaganda outlet. This has been another End Times Prophecy News Update. Carrie Geren Scoggins. Thank you for listening.